Hi guys, thanks for clicking on this video. I hope the advice I'll be giving you will help you as you're going on those long runs, or you're going to go into your training season, or hopefully they'll serve as reminders if there's anything on here that you may have forgotten. So the first on my list, because I made a list of items I wanted to remind myself to bring on long runs, and the first on my list was sunscreen. Buy sunscreen if you don't have it. Use it, reapply an hour and a half or an hour 20 minutes. Read the bottle to see how long you need to reapply, but it's approximately an hour and a half. You want to protect yourself from the UV rays even on those cloudy days. You don't want to get skin cancer, and you want to minimize the amount of wrinkles you'll get when you're old age. So wear sunscreen. It's so necessary. And another thing I invested in was sunglasses. Those, besides making you look more cool and adding that to your running gear attire, it will also just protect you from the UV rays. And during my marathon, it helped protect me from the dust. There was a point when I was running past cars and going down the hill and up the hill, and there was dust flying in my face, but I was so glad I had my trustworthy sunglasses because it just protected me from all that dust. And I didn't want to go across the finish line with red eyes and feeling more irritated than my body was already going to feel. So sunglasses are useful to buy. Another item I added on my list was this hydration pack. And I put my license, my keys, my towel, gel, snacks, my phone, and these are also useful for hiking, but it was a good investment to have this during my long runs. And on that note of talking about gels and snacks, during your training you can experiment with different types of gels, and getting to try different flavors will make your training less boring at times, and see which brand you like, and experiment with that before race day. Chia seeds was additional item on my list that I would add to my oatmeal and for my breakfast in the morning, and that would just give me more energy during my run. I put earphones, water, Gatorade, hair tie, and a hat. A hat was also useful. It would keep my head cool when the sun was really strong, and also it helped on the rainy days prevent all the water from getting into my eyes, and just helped me keep going and stay just a little bit drier. I read somewhere that it can also make you, if there's wind, that you can run a bit faster if you're wearing a hat. So hopefully that's true, but it's a good buy. Adds to your other style item for your running. Last two items I put on my list was a towel and a phone charger, because I would bring my phone to listen to music and it would run out of battery at times. So having that was useful, and the towel to wipe off all that sweat. Side story, I remember during my marathon there was a man who held a sign that said, I thought it was 1.31 miles, so I laughed at that. Anyway, going back to additional tips outside of my list. Running shoes, those last between 300 to 500 miles, which is what I read, and the lady said that when I first brought my running shoes, she said they would last until last year at my training, and I would eventually need to get a new pair. And I had bought a new pair for race day. It felt so good running in those newer shoes because it was the same brand and same type, just a little upgraded from the last version. But it felt so good to be running in newer shoes compared to the ones that had worn out. Don't walk in your running shoes because you don't want to waste your money by doing that. Walk in your other walking shoes and run in your running shoes. I also ran with an app that would tell me how many miles I had run. Every mile it would tell me what pace I was at. So that was good to keep track of. During during race day, you want to pace yourself, certainly, because especially for the marathon, that was important because you don't want to burn out. You don't want to go too fast too soon. That was something I noticed during my training, that if I ran really fast, it was hard and would have to walk a little bit and have to walk or want to go faster again. It was just a bit more challenging, and it is hard to sustain that energy. So pace yourself. Look into your running form. Keep that in check throughout your runs. Check your breathing. You don't want to get injured. You want to run faster too. And checking your running form. That's good. You see how much of your body is really being used and pushing you forward. From personal experience, I learned that you should clip your toenails. You don't want to have your toenail length go too long, and then it would hit, if every step you hit when you're running your toenail against your shoe, you'll wonder why, once you take your socks off, why your one of your toes is purple, and then lose that toenail and then have to wait for it to grow back. That's a sad experience I don't want you to live, so definitely clip your toenails. Have self-care in that area too. Do dynamic stretching before your run, and after your run, do those run cool downs and neck stretches and static stretches and foam rolling. Foam rolling is so important. I met a nurse who was a marathon runner, and she told me she would do this every day for her runs, and it was just very necessary because it's giving your body a massage. You're thanking your body, and it dramatically reduces soreness the next day. So invest in these. They're so needed. Fun thing I learned about preparing right before race day was carb loading. You get to eat a lot of carbs, store energy. I was happy to eat a lot of rice and pasta and bread, so that was fun. Runners get to get to be happy with those carbs. And my schedule plan was 16 weeks. They say you should, if you're preparing for a marathon, to run between 16 to 20 weeks, or have a training plan between 16 to 20 weeks. From the start of my training day to the race day, I actually had 20 weeks in between. I just had a 4-week grace period, so I left that in just in case I got sick, which I did. And if the weather just one day was just too bad, then I had the extra day to not run, because there's one day where it was so cold that if I had run in that weather, I knew I would have gotten sick. So that's something to know. And having a running partner to be a part of your journey, that will definitely give you motivation, and you can motivate them and just make the experience better, join the community of runners out there. So I hope all these tips were useful, that maybe some of them would serve as reminders and make your run experience a lot better as you go out there and hit the pavement. So thanks for watching. Ciao!